And when you're starting a startup or running one, check all your contracts for how the IP rights are written there. And, spend some money for a lawyer to audit it, because this is the most important thing.
Hi everyone, our guest today is Łukasz Pawlik, who is the CEO and founder of Lunching.pl, and recently they sold a part of their startup to a company called Benefit System. This is one of the biggest companies in Poland providing employee benefits, and indeed we're going to talk today about his successful exit. Hi Łukasz, how are you?
Hi Natalie, thank you for inviting me. I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you very much. Congratulations on your exit. How do you feel about it?
Thank you. I feel good, but this is the thing that whenever you ask a startup founder, how do you feel after a round or exit, it changes less than you would expect actually in your psychic and in your psyche and in your thinking and in your approach. It is a huge milestone, but it's not that you're a different person or your life is 100% different after such an event.
I see. Okay, we will go to that. So before we speak about your exit, let's talk a bit about the start. So how did you build your startup? What were the milestones that ultimately ended out with a successful exit? And do you consider it successful actually?
Of course. But our story is not quite standard one, because firstly, Lunching was a kind of hobby project. I was running another company, and what we have done, me and my brother, who is running Morel.net, we were speaking at some family dinner about how at 10:30 p.m. our teams like waste like 30 minutes or more to organize some lunch. So they didn't need to order separately, didn't have any delivery fees. So then we thought, actually that was wife of my brother, thought of this business model that this could be done by the system actually. So we did it for our companies, very simple thing, and it worked quite fine. And for next like 2 or 3 years, it was developed by us, the founders, was not very involved in it. And then I joined actually, I joined a firm, and we made the first round with VC. It was we raised money to scale up faster. Then half a year after we got the money, we just started building a sales team, etc. We lost like 90% of the demand of revenue because of pandemics. Our product actually worked for offices, and people stopped coming to offices anymore. So we had to pivot quickly, add industry clients to our portfolio, also start delivering to homes, and several more adjustments. And well, we succeeded, and we still exist, and for like over a year we are growing rapidly now. But the pandemics caused that we have fallen out of the VC path or VC track, which means that we couldn't raise money from VC funds at sensible conditions anymore. We had two choices, like scale down and go for profitability, or still think about rapid growth, but with some strategic investor. And the strategic investor is Benefit Systems, as you said before. So for over a month, we are in Benefit Systems group, and we are developing new strategy and new goals or maybe not so new, but because it's still to grow fast and to make sure that as many people as possible in Poland are able to eat healthy and real meal at work.
Great. Sounds like a tough path, and everything started inside your family circle. Sweet.
Friends and family, yes.
Great. What was the main reason why you decided that it was a right time? What helped you to make this decision?
To exit.
Yes.
Well, as I said before, we were running out of money.
Mm-hmm.
We couldn't raise any more VC rounds. So there was two choices: either exit to strategic partner or scale down. So actually, it was
One choice.
cash burn that that prompted me to the decision.
Okay, great. Sounds smooth. Speaking from your experience, what does it take for a startup to raise its chances to have a successful acquisition? I guess in your case it was a bit with a luck, but do you know maybe what kind of list of really important things that startups has to take into consideration while building the startups and preparing for a successful acquisition?
So one thing is to actually start the process of acquisition, and for that what you need to do is actually to talk to a lot of people, to be networked and to work on being networked. Actually, of course, it may happen that you have such a unique product that the strategic investor will come by it, as it was in our case. But even in such situation, you should be talking to more than one, which we didn't do actually, but we didn't have time for that. But if I had more time and if I had if my exit, our exit was, we had more time to prepare, for sure that we would talk with more potential buyers. So the first advice is to plan in advance. Like, I would give myself like 9 months or a year just for networking, for talking to people, to have really talk to everyone that is a good potential acquirer. Of course, firstly you need to think, where do you fit, which strategic investor could benefit with acquiring you, which strategic investor is buying right now, etc. And then you should talk to people and see how many of them would be wanting to talk further. And best, it's the same as with VC. It's best to have as many options as possible to pick the best one. And but the other thing is the completion of the acquisition. So firstly, you need to think about what the buyer is actually buying. So from the buyer's perspective, what a startup or company has right now is, of course, their revenue, their clients, if they are stable and if they are growing. This is point A that they are starting with, usually, unless they are just focused on technology. But there we are, there is the technology. So it is really important that you have rights to your technology. And when you're starting a startup or running one, check all your contracts for how the IP rights are written there. Spend some money for a lawyer to audit it, because this is the most important thing. So that you can prove that every line of code in your platform, in your system, belongs to you rightfully, legally. And I think that large corporations, buyers like this, they just hire lawyers to check it, and there is no discussion about it actually. So this is one thing which is very important, and it's hard. Sometimes it's hard if you neglected it at the start of your company, it's really hard to go back and repair it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another thing, luckily we had it all really well done. Another thing is what they're buying is actually your team.
Yeah.
So the audit and the whole process is that they will be looking at your team and considering how good your people are and how probable is that they will stay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially if you have some rare talents in your team, in IT, in other departments. Mm-hmm. So this is what they are buying. So they are buying your customers' revenue, but most of all your technology and your team.
I see.
So it's quite important. One more advice: you're gonna need really good transactional lawyer on your side.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because there is lots of papers and someone with experience in such processes helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is really a lot of work on that. In theory, founders like me, they can read contracts and write contracts,
Mm-hmm.
actually, but they have so many clauses that are not every day in use that really there was a lot of correspondence and work between legal teams on both sides. And if I was the one, if I didn't have good support, I don't know where we would be now.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely should have a lawyer with transactional experience.
Mm-hmm. Great. That sounds like a lot of job, a lot of work to do.
It's not easy.
Interesting. Well, actually, you covered my next question. I was about to ask what are the pitfalls, but you already kind of explained everything. So, most expected, I would say, question. Let's speak about numbers. I don't know to which extent you can speak about those numbers, but everybody will be interested on how much successful was your deal.
Well, actually, it's a public information because
Mm-hmm.
Benefit Systems is a public company on Polish stock market, so
Mm-hmm.
they need to reveal those information.
Mm-hmm.
So the valuation was about 17 million złotych.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely not unicorn,
Mm-hmm.
but considering the pandemics and how it affected the company, we were quite happy with that.
I see. Great. And as I've heard, you haven't got a complete exit, right? You still have your part. You still remain on your role. Can you tell how after that exit your role will look like?
So me and Szymon, co-founder,
Mm-hmm.
we have actually, I'm not pretty sure if I can reveal those details. Sorry, but as I told you, this is a stock market company,
Mm-hmm.
and they have really strict rules about revealing some data.
Mm-hmm.
So out of my head, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to disclose the details, but we still have a pretty substantial part,
Mm-hmm.
and well, there is this transactional construction called earnout,
Mm-hmm.
which means that those shares will be bought by the investor, by Benefit Systems,
Mm-hmm.
in following years, based on company performance, actually.
I see. Well, great. So that means that you have chances if in upcoming years your company will grow rapidly, that the remain part also will increase.
Yes, definitely.
Remain part of
So,
your shares.
Yeah. This is why this construction actually exists,
Mm-hmm.
to motivate and to ensure that the team is intact and still doing a good job, that we are not leaving for the Bahamas for like a year. And for the company it wouldn't be really good if we were to be replaced right now by highest managers who don't know company, don't know market yet.
Cool, great. Very last question of our main part. If you met 10 years old Lukasz, what would you tell him?
I guess I would tell him to train more, do more sports.
Eat good food.
I mean, I was very active as kid, but wasn't actually training any sports. And I'm now, even though I do like sports, I'm really bad at them. So hand-eye coordination and movement coordination, it develops at this age actually.
I see. Good advice. Do more sports. Okay, well, good. Thank you, Lukasz. And we're gonna move to our rapid fire questions. Your biggest regret?
In my life?
Yes. Not necessarily has to be business oriented.
It's really tough because my approach to the past is not to dwell on it actually.
So no regrets.
It's gonna be benign, but maybe I wish that when I was studying, there wasn't any programs like Erasmus and other programs that let you study abroad, travel a lot, meet other countries, and I wish I had it then because I'm pretty sure that I would use it to the fullest. It's really big chance that students today have. This is first thing that popped to my mind, but I guess I don't know why this came to my mind, but
counts.
I wish it was different back then. Yeah.
I see, that counts. 3 main qualities you have to see in a person to hire him, her. What do you pay attention to?
Ambition to develop, to grow, to learn. This is one thing. Honesty. I mean, in terms of not sugarcoating things, not telling things that the other part wants to hear. Just being transparent. I have troubles with communicating with people who are not direct, and you got to be able to think for yourself, and so people who have their own mind, who are not dependent, they have really big potential to become someone, become good employee, become advance in your work and bring something good to the team. So I think those 3 qualities are quite important to me.
Got it. Thank you. Who is your business hero?
I think my brother, because it's because I know him personally, obviously, and we talk about business a lot. He's completely different personality than me, and does things different ways than me, and he achieved a lot. So his company that he created, Morale.net, is billions of revenue company.
Wow, that's so sweet. Thank you for your answers, Łukasz. I have no more questions from my side. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for the conversation. Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you.